And the last thing she said to me was, "Don't forget me."
A heartbreaking plea, and now after 4 long years, an arrest in the murder of Katelynn Shelhamer. Today on the Morning Edition, why her family says they're not done fighting for justice. But first.
But the problem is, why should that be our neighborhood's problem?
Frustration in Mountain View after months of waiting. Anchorage officials say an abatement is coming to one of the city's largest homeless camps, but residents aren't celebrating just yet. And later.
It's a lot of give and take. She does most of the giving, I do most of the taking.
A marriage built on love, laughs, and letter tiles. See how one couple has turned a simple game of Scrabble into 6 decades of friendly competition and lasting connection as the Morning Edition starts now. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. Gotta love a good game of Scrabble.
I love Scrabble. I'm not good at it, but I love playing it. I just love board games.
Just come up with words.
Rummy Cub, Scrabble, any of those tile games, those are just fun and nostalgia. Bring back those times playing with Granny growing up.
Yes.
Got to get the dictionary out.
I was really horrible at that game. Waking up this morning, we are seeing those clouds streaming back in across South Central, and we are expected to see some sunshine breaks today, but what we're going to be watching as we welcome in the afternoon and evening hours is parts of South Central seeing the return to some showery weather, really thinking that's going to be more towards the Matsu Valley and parts of the Copper River Basin, while coastal regions, we're beginning to dry out as that area of low pressure continues to weaken as it pulls to the south. We're at 39 this morning. Winds remain quite breezy, up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour. We'll still see a nice day across South Central. We're waking up to those temperatures in the 20s and the 30s across the region. The warm spot, of course, Palmer and Anchorage and Valdez, both beginning to nose their way near 40 degrees. Elsewhere, though, you can see we do have a mix of some cloud coverage and then other locations out towards the Kenai sitting up under some clearer skies. Notice, though, this clouds streaming in from the north. This is going to set the stage for possible rain showers into the evening hours. What we're watching is this system that's currently in the southern parts of the interior that is bringing some light snow showers to parts of the Alaska Range. As that dips to the south through the afternoon and evening hours, we're going to see some showers beginning to develop later this evening for the Matsu Valley and into the Copper River Basin. The question becomes, will we see it build as far south as the Anchorage Bowl? If that occurs, we'll see a chance for some showers this evening. Otherwise, be prepared for the better opportunity for areas through the Matsu Valley into the Copper River Basin. Not going to be any heavy rainfall, but we are going to see the potential for about 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of rain. You can see out towards Prince William Sound. We're only going to see some spotty to isolated showers today, and we could see some spotty activity through the Kenai. Otherwise, expecting to see this trend towards drier conditions. I'll have more on that in that 7-day forecast coming up.
In this morning's top story, we focus on the homeless crisis. After months of frustration and delay, the city of Anchorage now says it plans to clear one of its largest homeless camps by early summer.
Davis Park in Mountain View has been at the center of controversy, with residents calling for action and city leaders caught between public pressure and limited shelter space. As of this week, there's still no exact date, but there is a promise.
Lauren Maxwell has the latest on what could be a turning point for the community.
A drive by Davis Park in Mountain View isn't a pretty sight. Ditto for the snow dump across the street. In the view of some Mountain View residents,
It should have been dealt with last summer.
it's only gotten worse. Pam Brennan and her husband have lived in their Mountain View neighborhood for more than 40 years. She says the place she once loved has become a dumping ground. And it didn't help when the mayor said on TV that Davis Park wouldn't be abated anytime soon.
Something to the effect that it couldn't be done right away because there was no place for the people to go, and you had to have a place for them to go, or they would just move elsewhere. But the problem is, why should that be our neighborhood's problem?
The city still isn't giving a date, but on Tuesday said the camp, which houses at least 100 people, will be abated in early summer.
The thing is that we can't just implement an abatement in the way that we would for a smaller area, because that could potentially cause even greater impacts to the community.
The city says it's gathering its resources to make sure the job is done right. In the coming weeks, it believes space will be available in shelter or more permanent housing. Pam Brennan says moving campers out of Mountain View would be a victory for her.
That would be outstanding.
But like many in the neighborhood, she'll believe it when she sees it. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
The city says more than $5 million in federal rental assistance will be available this week. That will be used to help qualified individuals move out of shelters and camps and into stable housing. An investigation continues this morning after a multi-alarm fire ripped through a downtown Anchorage apartment building right across from the Pioneer home. This is a look at some of the damage. The fire broke out last night in a building on West I Street with 15 units and a laundry room. Officials say 16 people live there, but it's unclear if any have been allowed to return. More than 50 firefighters rushed to the scene and had those flames under control just before 7 p.m.
A break in a cold case that has haunted an Anchorage family for nearly 4 years. An arrest has been made in the 2021 killing of this girl, 18-year-old Katelynn Shelhamer. The news comes as a relief to her family, who never gave up hope that someone would be held accountable. Alaska's news source investigates. Johnson Kuhn has the latest on the suspect and the emotional reaction from Katelynn's grandmother.
And the last thing she said to me was, "Don't forget me. Don't forget me." Can't take it.
Sandra Giroux sharing the final moment she had with Katelynn before the 18-year-old's death in 2021. According to Anchorage police, officers found Katelynn's body in the early morning hours of June 8th at Nuneka Valley baseball fields in East Anchorage. Police said she suffered trauma to her upper body. Her grandmother saying Katelynn had made great strides while attending the Alaska Military Youth Academy.
She was just waiting to turn 18 so she could buy her car and get her job, and everything was going good.
Sandra says she got the call from detectives about the arrest on Friday. The same day arrest records show Hill was arrested at a Wells Fargo on DeBar Road shortly after 5 p.m. after a judge issued a $1 million arrest warrant, nearly 4 years since Katelynn's death.
We thought we were going to have to take it into our own hands and become cowboys and go out and rally, but thank goodness the cops. The police are great. They worked on it. I was afraid it'd become a cold case, and it didn't, so we're ecstatic.
According to Sandra, the family had long since suspected Hill's involvement in Katelynn's death and that he was part of a crowd she had been trying to move away from. It's for those reasons, Sandra says, she believes there are more people responsible.
They're coming after you, whoever else is out there, and I can't wait to see you guys in court.
Johnson Kuhn, Alaska's news source.
Hill has an arraignment scheduled today at 1:45 p.m. at the Anchorage jail courtroom. His bail has been set at $500,000. An investigation is ongoing this morning after 3 people were found dead last month at a home on 42nd Avenue in Anchorage. Police confirm the case is domestic violence related. While the victims have been identified, their names are being withheld out of respect for the families. The cause of death has not been released, but officers say the incident appears to be isolated. An investigation is underway this morning after a Bethel teen drowned Saturday night. Police say it happened when his snow machine broke through the ice.
Bethel High School identified the victim as 17-year-old James McMillan. Police say he was one of 3 teens skipping snow machines across a pond when his machine sank and pulled him under. Skipping is when snow machine racers hydroplane their sleds across water. This is a photo of that pond. Police say McMillan and the other people skipping did not have life vests or proper safety equipment, and that skipping is dangerous.
I just want passengers to be aware that full implementation is taking place tomorrow. Give themselves plenty of time to make sure that they're able to check in with the airlines, and also we'll have staff in front of all our checkpoints to help and direct our customers as they transit through the security process.
The deadline is here. Starting today, you'll need a real ID to fly domestic or enter federal facilities. After years of extensions, the federal mandate is finally taking effect.
DMV offices across Alaska have been packed with last-minute applicants trying to get compliant. Here's Quinn White with what you need to know.
Starting this week, you're going to need your real ID to fly. We've been hearing about this deadline coming up for years, but when I swung by the DMV, I met with many Alaskans who've been waiting until the last second to get their documents in.
I was hoping they would push this one back for another 6 months like they've been doing the last couple years. but they didn't, so here I am.
Now serving A221.
I travel so much, I see the signs in the airport, and I just didn't pay any attention to them. Just one of those things put off to the last minute.
Some experiencing long waits.
It's busy in there, so yeah, whenever you can, get down and get that real ID. And we live in a state where you have to fly to a lot of places, and not everywhere is accessible by train or car or anything, so it's important to have that so you can take the flights where you need to be.
Now, you could still travel with your passport, and certain military IDs or tribal IDs might work too. But authorities say if you don't have your real ID by that deadline, you might be subject to additional searches or other delays. I'm Quinn White, Alaska's news source.
Still ahead, the Anchorage School District takes steps to come back from the brink. We'll break down how the state's largest school district moves to reverse some deep cuts to sports and activities.
Plus, the Anchorage Assembly is taking aim at food insecurity, introducing a new ordinance to prevent food deserts in the city. How it'll work.
Still holding on to a chance we could see some showers across South Central, although a lot less activity today. I'll have more on that. But first, the sunrise coming in at 5:32 in Anchorage, 3:38 in Utqiagvik. Your full forecast is next.
Well, after a long winter's nap, Kobuk the bear is back on his feet at the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center.
And the bear woke up with a surprising talent. So move over, marching bands. There's a new star baton twirler in town. And he's stealing hearts online with new video of his springtime stick routine. Cameras caught the big guy spinning, tossing, and twirling a branch with the finesse of a parade performer.
Yeah, some say he's ready for a pageant. Others think maybe he's gunning for a spot in next year's 4th of July lineup. But whatever he is practicing for, Kobuk's got the moves to stick the landing. I mean, would you be a little tired and groggy after waking up after a full winter?
Yeah, he's all excited about just the daylight and summer coming up, Aaron.
It looks like we got a contender there for any of those color guards across the nation at the colleges. We are waking up this morning expecting to see some clouds streaming back in across South Central. We are seeing a lot drier conditions as well. Now, temperatures the past about week and a half, we have seen several days where those temperatures, they stayed in the upper 40s. We've seen a handful of days that have managed to warm into the lower 50s. In fact, Monday was the warmest day we've seen so far this season at 54 degrees. And what we're going to be watching here over the next couple of days is those temperatures steadily warming. So when do we typically see our first 60-degree day? Where our average first falls right around May 13th. Last year, we hit it at May 25th, May 18th in 2023. You can see it hit earlier in 2021 on April 19th. So we're likely about a week and a half to about 2.5 weeks away from hitting our first 60-degree day. We're still expecting temperatures to remain warm, but for the foreseeable future, we'll likely stay in the low to mid 50s. 36 in Fairbanks, 8 degrees in Dead Horse. We've got that activity out towards southeast beginning to lighten up, and we're still holding on to some snow from St. Paul out towards Cold Bay, which will persist through the remainder of this morning into the afternoon hours. But we're still holding on to pleasant conditions for a good portion of the state. There's our area of low pressure that continues to weaken. It is pulling to the south, and as it does, those showers will be few and far between for both coastal regions of South Central as well as southeast. In fact, southeast will likely see less than 1/4 inch of rain for the rest of your Wednesday. So looking at that warm weather pattern, we are holding on to some cooler conditions through the interior. That's from those rain showers as well as some snow that we have been seeing both yesterday as well as this morning. What we're going to be dealing with as we close out today and welcome in the close of this week is warmer conditions will surge back in across the state. We're talking about 50s, mid-50s looking possible this weekend for South Central, while areas of the interior likely will warm into the mid-60s. So we'll be watching for that here over the next couple of days. And of course, along the slope, while we are going to see some warm conditions, temperatures still remaining on the cooler side. We're watching this system dipping south out of the interior. That will lead some rain showers for parts of the Mat-Su Valley as well as the Copper River Basin. The question becomes, will we see it dip far enough south that we could see some rain showers for the Anchorage Bowl? So we'll be watching for that into the evening hours. Otherwise, expect a lot drier conditions across South Central. You can see southeast also beginning to see some dry breaks as well. However, As we welcome in Thursday on into Friday, that rain out towards the Panhandle will become more periodic in nature, as we are expected to see a return to some of that heavier activity. But here across South Central, you can see some sunshine set to make a return to the region, and we're going to see those temperatures warm into the weekend. Upper 40s, lower 50s today across Southeast, and again, we'll see less than a quarter for most locations. Juneau may see up to about half an inch. That's where we'll see some of the heavier rain showers. Spotty activity across the Kenai, still seeing that potential for some breezy winds today. Max winds, though, topping out at about 25 miles per hour. Mid-40s from Prince William Sound into the Copper River Basin. You can see those temperatures in the valley warming into the low to mid-50s. And then that 7-day forecast showing that, yes, we'll hit 51 today in Anchorage, but those temperatures will steadily warm the next couple of days. We're at 53 Friday, welcoming in Mother's Day. Those temperatures sitting in the mid-50s. And, hey, we've got some sunshine in the forecast and should stay on the dry side.
Yeah, looks good. Thanks, Aaron.
I do think it's important that all of us remember that we're really dismantling the Anchorage School District at this point.
That was School Board President Andy Holloman just weeks ago as the Anchorage School District faced a crushing deficit, forced to make sweeping cuts, relocating teachers, slashing special education, and eliminating sports programs entirely. But some of these programs may be making a return after a vote from the school board last night.
The Anchorage School Board passed a memo to revise next year's budget, restoring cut programs if the state approves more school funding. The plan depends on lawmakers in Juneau passing a per-student increase of at least $560. A bill with a $700 boost is now on the governor's desk. Board members strongly backed the restoration plan, but warned that long-term funding issues remain.
And then you can start to see. Unless the legislature and the governor decide that their obligation is to fund adequately public education, we're going to do this again next year. And we're going to be facing this, and we may or may not get last-minute funding again to reduce it.
More than 100 ASD faculty and staff could be reassigned amid budget shortfalls, with some warning at last night's meeting their jobs may be at risk.
I know that it's not personal, but it does feel stupid. It feels pretty damn short-sighted, and like it shouldn't have to happen. And I'm really counting on your guys' votes to restore educators to their original schools today.
Middle and high school sports, the Ignite Gifted program, special education services, and about 270 full-time positions could be restored under the revised budget. But school board members say not all cuts were undone. An estimated $23 million in reductions still remain.
The Anchorage Assembly voted to take action on food insecurity, approving a new ordinance Tuesday night with a 10-2 vote. The ordinance, introduced by members Chris Constant and Daniel Vollen, was triggered by the closure of the cars on Gamble. Vollen said hearing that the property could be kept vacant to block competition raised serious concerns about food access in the area, a practice commonly seen in the lower 48. Supporters say the measure helps prevent the creation of so-called food deserts, particularly in neighborhoods where many residents do not have cars.
There is a high percentage of folks who live in Fairview who do not own a car, and their way to get to the grocery store is to walk, bike, wheelchair roll, non-motorized travel.
Opponents, including Assemblymember Keith McCormick, called the ordinance an overreach, arguing the city has no guarantee the property would be sold even with the new rule in place.
Cars is going to close, and are they going to sell the building? We don't know if they'll sell the building. There's no promise of that. There's no promise of, even if this proposal passes, that they don't maintain the building and hold on to the building as a loss. So I have issue with it there, and then also issue with it as this is government reaching in and imposing itself.
You can stay on top of all the Assembly news on our website or the Alaska's News Source app.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's News Source automatically, and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's News Source app.